At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of snow showers taking place throughout the day. We'll see an afternoon high around 32. Tonight, a slight chance of snow will continue. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies and a low around 20. And tomorrow, a slight chance of snow continuing throughout the day. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with a high of 32. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clifford from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weeknights. I'm Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. And as always, the host of always, we got Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. And of course, Allo, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Well, let's go ahead and bring him in. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going, man?
Going good, trying to get through this cold weather.
Yeah. Where are you at for Christmas? Do you have to do too much traveling at all? Or are you still wrapping up Christmas, or how's it been for you so far?
It's been good. I actually stayed in Omaha with my daughter and everything like that. I didn't go back home this time. Today is actually my birthday, so she wanted to do some stuff with me and everything like that. So, which is why I wasn't able to make it in.
It's your birthday today?
Yeah.
All right, there you have it here. DeMornay Pierson-El's birthday. Happy birthday, man! And anyone listening, be sure to tweet "Don't Punt." What was it? Don't Punt 15.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Punt 15. Wish DeMornay Pierson-El a happy birthday. And of course, former Husker. We all remember the great memories he provided for us at Nebraska. Well, happy birthday, man. That's kind of nice to be able to celebrate both of those around the same time. But how's your Christmas been so far?
It's been great. Just being here, around family and whatnot. My daughter got everything that she wanted and whatnot. So I mean, just seeing her, go through stuff and everything like that, and then my family called and everybody got to kind of see it and open up and stuff. So it was real peaceful.
Absolutely. What was the favorite gift you think that she got? I was talking to Almond Green. Her daughter is one of her favorites. She got a little register where she can fake scan out people's food and items, and apparently that was one of the best ones she had out there. But what about you?
She got like a 4-level like dollhouse.
Okay, 4 levels.
Yeah, it's listen, I don't know. It's a Barbie dollhouse. Between that and probably she got like a doctor's tray.
Okay.
So she got like a stethoscope, like needles and Band-Aids, and it has like a little scanner to actually like scan like the medicine out and everything like that. Between those two, I would say was probably her favorite.
Absolutely. What about you? Did you get any gifts? And don't worry, we will talk about your Raiders and them upsetting the Chiefs. But what was did you get anything this year that you really liked? What was your favorite gift so far?
I got a new suitcase. I'm gonna put that bad boy to use this year. So I mean that was something I would probably say. I got some other good things, but that was probably the best one.
Yeah, the older you get, the more practical gifts seem to get you more excited. I was telling them on Green, you get more excited, for toothpaste, body wash, just all that stuff, a free haircut. Like the older you get, Christmas definitely shifts a little bit for you. But nonetheless, yeah, happy birthday, and I'm glad that the holiday's been going great for you. Plenty of things to talk about in the sports world. And again, if you guys want to join the show, we're with DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. 402-464-5685 is that Starter Heyman text line. But we got the Pistons, who are down right now, that are at 2-27. The losing streak, the record is 28 from the Jazz, and that was actually split into 2 seasons. They were losing towards the end and kept losing when the season started again, so this would be even worse. But then, of course, NFL was crazy this weekend as well. You had the Ravens, I wouldn't say upsetting, but dominating the 49ers in what was Brock Purdy's arguably one of his worst games. And then, of course, the Raiders, 2 defensive touchdowns and about 7 seconds of actual gameplay. They beat the Chiefs. Antonio Pierce is getting more love, which, he deserves the credit for it, what he's been able to do to that team. But what was your thoughts on that Raiders-Chiefs game?
Oh, I loved it. That was by far one of the better presents to witness. You can say what you want to say about the offensive side and everything like that. They found a way to win. Mm-hmm. That defensive side, they're playing really, really well. And those are one of those teams that you kind of got to watch out for, that are hitting those types of runs late in the season. Cincinnati, when they went to their Super Bowl run, they kind of hit that same run late in the season, and I mean it got them to the Super Bowl. So I'm excited and happy for them. But they job's not finished. Hopefully, the Chiefs can lose one of these last 2, and the Raiders can win out and win the conference. That'd be a good way to start the new year off.
Antonio Pierce has got to be the guy, right?
Yeah, huh?
Antonio Pierce, he's got to be the head coach, right? There's no question there.
I'm not sure. There's pros and cons to it. Honestly, this situation resembles a lot of what happened with Rich Bisaccia.
Mm-hmm.
And they let Rich go with a lot of players internally. I know for a fact that spoke, with the ownership that wanted Rich to, be the next head coach guy and everything like that. They didn't give him an opportunity. AP is kind of in the same situation, not really experienced in the head coaching stuff, but commands the locker room, are getting guys to play and everything like that. So this situation reminds me a lot of it. I don't know how that necessarily goes, because other than him, who are other good candidates that might want that, that job and everything like that. So they got a good defensive side. The offensive pieces are there. They do got a young quarterback. I think they do need to go, in another direction. That's just me personally.
Yeah,
But,
O'Connell's kind of been up and down. He flashed really well early, and he's had a few rough games consistently here. But, young quarterback, the jury's still out on him to see what he can do under another season.
So I just hope it's a step in the right direction. I wasn't excited about the McDaniels hire. And, speaking with a couple of dudes that are, in the organization still and everything like that, there's a lot more freedom now. There's a lot more of them to being able to and allowed to be them on and off the field, with stuff and whatnot. But I'm just happy for those guys and everything like that. I'm happy that, this coach is getting an opportunity to, show what he can bring to an organization. And, hopefully, something good comes out of it.
Yeah. I'd say the Raiders, considering the start of how the season went down and a lot of the negativity, you got Jimmy G. He's not playing great. Everyone's kind of panicking a little bit. This is probably about as best a situation you can be towards the end of the stretch here, where you got a team with some confidence. You just upset the Chiefs in spectacular Christmas game. It's been rolling pretty much right for the Raiders down here towards the stretch. It'd be interesting to see how they finish, but that wasn't the only crazy game of the weekend. You also had Joe Flacco in the Browns. Shout out Mari Cooper, my lord. He had won a lot of people some fantasy football games. I think he was around 50 if you're in a PPR league. And then, of course, I'm just scratching my head here. Buccaneers beat the Jaguars. Shout out to my Bears for getting a win as well. And then, of course, the Steelers. I know the Bengals haven't been healthy and right, but what a message by Mike Tomlin to dominate 34-11. What to you has been the most surprising game of the weekend in terms of the NFL Week 16?
Other than the Raiders Chiefs, the Buccaneers Jacksonville.
Baker Mania.
I like Baker. I don't, a lot of people have written him off and said a lot of things and everything like that, but what he's done in overall his career from, transferring to two schools, walking on the boat, starting at two different universities and winning a Heisman and, going to Cleveland and, he had some winning seasons there. He was better than what they had. So, I wish him the best, and I'm glad he's actually, writing off his doubters. I'm for it. I didn't think it would be necessarily like that, and I just hope it continues to, grow, and I wish him nothing but the best. But that game for sure shocked me. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I always, I like watching Baker Mayfield. I'm actually a fan. I was never quite sure what he was going to be. Trying to read the ceiling on him can be difficult because of the inconsistent play, but I even thought when the Browns were moving on from him, I was like, man, that's a guy that finally got you to the playoffs. He ended this crazy long quarterback rotation that you've had forever trying to find a guy there. And then, of course, they get Deshaun Watson. Hasn't been great either. Joe Flacco has actually been the better quarterback out of the two, arguably. He's already surpassed Deshaun Watson in touchdowns on the year for the Browns. So, interesting situation. But what he's been able to do for the Buccaneers, he, like you said, played incredibly well. 26 for 35, 283 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. And then Trevor Lawrence, 17 for 29, 211 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions. All-out game, just dominated by the Buccaneers. I was getting ready for Baker Mayfield to go ahead and run the Buccaneers flag out there in the middle of the field like his Oklahoma days, because he seems like a guy that when the conversation gets big and people are ready to sign back onto Baker Mayfield, it seems like he has his worst games then. This wasn't the case at all. People are kind of excited to see what it's going to look like, and he performed at a very high level. And I'll say this much. I don't know what the Buccaneers ceiling is, if they should keep him or what their next move should be. I'm still a little bit in the gray area. If you are the Buccaneers, are you looking at Baker Mayfield to continue leading your team next season?
I think 2 things go into it. First, where are you at in the draft? Or, where do you place that in the draft? Are you top 10? Can you get, a younger guy early or somebody that you really, really like? And then later, third, fourth round.
Yeah, let me look quick. I actually don't think they have any trade swaps that would help them out with that. As I look it up right now.
I definitely think you re-sign him. It doesn't harm you. I mean, Baker was on a 1-year deal. I think you give him a fair amount of deal because, I mean, it looks like he's going to win you the conference regardless of whatever the record is. I mean, you can't say nothing. He brought you a conference, title, and he's taking you to the playoffs regardless of, whether if you're above 500 or right under it or exactly 500. So I think that is a piece that you would want to bring back. You probably draft a quarterback and then you bring in somebody in free agency who might not have gotten opportunities other places where to compete with Baker, and kind of just let it go from there. If Baker's the guy again, I mean, of course he would probably be your first chance, but I mean, each year each organization finds a way to get better. So why not bring somebody in there, to maybe push him and keep him, on the gas pedal and everything like that. But yet, if somebody does outperform him and everything like that, then that's just what it is. At least you got him, in your back pocket.
Yeah, and right now the Tampa Buccaneers obviously at 8-7. It doesn't look like they actually have any trade swaps from prior trades, so they're looking probably going to be anywhere between 18 to 22. That's a pretty wide range, but 20 is about the average where they'll probably end up. And to your point, there is a lot of quarterbacks in this draft class. So even if you can't get, maybe some of the bigger names out there, there's enough elite QB talent in the class that's coming up where you might be able to take a flyer on a guy that you think can actually continue to develop into that elite NFL style quarterback, and you can maybe put a little bit of pressure on it. But
a Will Levis type of guy,
yep.
A Dak Prescott type of guy who they were a late round draft pick, but with the right situation and right scenario and everything like that, they have weapons down there. I still like the Buccaneers defense. Outside of the Saints in that conference, I mean, it's between those two. I'm not sold on the Falcons. That coach might be honestly out of his job come the ending of the season. So I mean, they have the pieces there. I mean, they're not so far from the team that they had with Brady down there and everything like that. So you got a lot of pieces that are still there. So you one or two pieces to plug in and everything like that, and you can be competing in one of the top teams or a second tier in the NFC period.
Yeah, absolutely tonight. And real quick from the text line again, 402-464-5685. Shout out to Bob in Phoenix. He's working right now, but still listening to 93.7 The Ticket all the way down there in Phoenix. Awesome. You guys can always chime in. We'll do a roll call as we're going on. But again, I want to go back to the NFL, and we've kind of talked about some of the more interesting, fun games that were, we'll say, quote unquote, upsets. Sometimes when you have those rivalry games like a Raiders and Chiefs, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, that was totally unexpected. We've seen that happen before. We saw it happen on Thanksgiving Day. Everyone's right in the Lions to beat the Packers easily. Packers find a way to upset the Lions. Those rivalry, those interconference games, always going to have some extra problems. But let's talk about some of these elite teams now. And then we can ask the question, who is the strongest team in the NFL? Cowboys, Dolphins. I think a lot of people expected that to be a shootout. Dolphins do end up winning it, but 20-22. Dak Prescott, 20 for 32, 253 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. Tua, 24 for 37, 293 yards, and 1 touchdown there. And again, it was a game where, it was a little surprising. Tyreek Hill, I don't want to say it was a bad game, but compared to his standard, he didn't maybe have the numbers you were expecting. But the Dolphins still find a way to get a win. What is your thoughts on the Miami Dolphins? And do you think this team, or even the Cowboys, despite the loss, a lot of people are saying this is going to be a Super Bowl matchup. Are you seeing that with these two teams? And it looks like we might have actually just lost the morning Pierson-El there. So apologies. I'm sure he'll call back in as soon as possible. And yep, there he is. Guys, give me a second while I go ahead and get him on the line. All right, we'll have to try to get DeMornay back in here. DeMornay, if you're listening, go ahead and call back, and we'll try to get you back on. All right, apologies. So in the meantime, we'll get to Mornay Pierson-El back on the line here. And when he does so, we'll go ahead and break down some more of the NFL. But in the meantime, we'll do is I'll kind of preview what we're going to talk about. And we'll go ahead and just throw it to a quick early break here so we can get them back locked in here. But again, Cowboys, Dolphins, I think you're looking at these two teams as possible Super Bowl contenders. After that game, though, maybe you're looking at the Cowboys to kind of have that end of the year that they typically do. You're starting to lose a little bit of confidence. It wasn't a blowout by any means, but a 20-22 score. I think a lot of people were picking the Cowboys in that one. Wasn't the offensive shootout we might have expected, but the Miami Dolphins find a way to get it done. With that being said, though, we will throw it to break. Don't worry. We'll get to Mornay Pierson-El back on the line here when we come back. So don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. We'll have Mornay Pierson-El back on the Allo VIP line right after the break.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Pierson Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Pierson Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha. New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Coach Brown is our guest. Coach Rule, give us your synopsis.
I look at Coach Rule, and there's a lot of things I like about him, man. And he has great respect for Coach Osborne. That's what I like. I think I really like his humility. He listens to people. He learns from other people still. And he's got remarkable intelligence, I think. I think he's got a really high level of intelligence. He's coached every position, and he's a great teacher to go along with it. I think the best teachers are the best learners.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Everything we do, from our jobs to our hobbies, to the stuff that makes us who we are, all of those things come with the tool of the trade. I'm Trooper White of the Nebraska State Patrol. Wearing your seatbelt can reduce your risk of injury by 50% in a crash. So every time you get in a vehicle, remember to use the tool of the trade, your seatbelt. This message presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Old School with DP and J.
We got a special guest in. We got Jason Peters.
All that's being asked of you is everything. Like, you have to give everything that you have to that program, to that team. If you want to be a champion, that's the only way, right? I mean, you have to commit to every lifting session, every strength and conditioning session, during the summer, during the spring, whatever it may be. It just has to be 100% commitment by everybody.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. We got DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. DeMornay, do we got you back?
Yeah, you got me back.
All right, good deal. So again, shout out to Allo on the VIP line. DeMornay, he wasn't hanging up on the show. He just slipped, the phone fell on. It happens to the best of us, so no worries there. The show will continue, but nonetheless, I do want to talk a little bit more about the NFL. I talked about the Miami Dolphins and Cowboys a little bit while you're off air, but when you're looking at these Super Bowl teams, we want to call real elite teams, after this weekend, did your narrative shift at all on who you might think should be the favorites for the Super Bowl this year? Obviously, the 49ers, Ravens, I think might have been an eye-opener for a lot of people, especially for Florio after his very aggressive comments talking about how the 49ers were going to dominate the Ravens. But what are your thoughts? Who to you are those elite teams in the NFL?
I think there are three teams that jump out to me as front runners. Two in the AFC. Oh, no. One in the AFC, two in the NFC. So, of course, the actually you can say 4. I'll go 4 just to make it even. I'll go between Baltimore out of the AFC, and everybody else is kind of like trickled down from there.
Yep.
You of course you have your playoff teams that have been there before, Mahomes, the Bills, but they're still not clicking. They still haven't. It's a couple things for them to quite figure out.
Yeah, the Bills have just been figuring it out.
And I hate to give the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. I just don't think they've been what we've seen them to be, and they've had more. Last year they won the whole thing with pretty much the same type of people, and I'm not sure why they're why we're seeing this of what we are. But outside of them, the Dolphins for sure, just because they have so many weapons. I was with Vic Fangio in Denver. I know how he's going to I know how he's going to shut down an opponent or make it difficult for an opponent to really do what they do good.
Mm-hmm.
So those two teams out of the AFC, and then when we go to the NFC, I mean, it's the 49ers and the Eagles. I know the Eagles have kind of hit a slump, but you still can't put it past them. Their defense is still up there with a top 5 defense. I mean, they got weapons on the offensive side at all positions: running back, tight end, quarterback, receiver. Their offensive line is still, regardless, they have multiple all-pros that are on that line. So once they get back on track, I think they'll still be, what they are. But I think those are the teams that pop out. And then you got a couple other groups that are like right under that aren't just playing as well as those 4 teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, Baltimore, I think, is in their own category for themselves. That's who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl, sparing no injuries happen to them and everything like that. They're just so dynamic, and Lamar doesn't necessarily have to rely on his feet doing the job for him. And then he has so many first round weapons on the outside at receiver. You got a young tight end who's really good. It's just so many ways that he can beat people, and you've seen the best defense. You've seen what he was able to do with them. They struggle with him.
Mm-hmm.
So unless he's just having a bad day, the 49ers got bullied, and they're typically the bullies.
Yeah.
And I don't think their defense played bad. It's just their offense just put their defense in bad positions.
That's why Lamar Jackson's an MVP in my eyes. His dynamic, he just makes it so hard for those defenses. But go ahead there.
I just it's going. The 49ers showed something that was kind of underlying. If you get them out of being a setup or a pass faking or a pro style type offense, if you get them kind of messed up or out of their rhythm, they're really not a drop back and pick you apart type of team. They like to play action.
Mm-hmm.
And McCaffrey showed signs of breaking and everything like that, but they just couldn't get the play action going. And once they kind of got out of that, I think they struggled. So I mean that'll be something to watch. The rest of on the NFC side of stuff, and then Baltimore is just they look in the league of their own, honestly. And it's not close.
I'm with you.
It's not close at all.
I am 100% with you. The Ravens would scare me more than anybody in the NFL. And I thought that before the 49ers game. That's why I kind of mentioned Florio earlier when he was on national TV. I thought that was ridiculous to kind of disrespect the Ravens like that, because I'm like, they're still sitting before that game with 11 wins and only 3 losses. Lamar Jackson has been on an MVP type of run this year. I thought the disrespect to them was crazy. And especially you hear Bosa talking about Lamar Jackson, and he gave him a lot of credit. He said earlier in the season, Lamar Jackson was really staying in the pocket more and was only running when he needed to. He mentioned how in this game, he was actively looking for the escape hatches immediately. Even if it was a play that was supposed to develop, if he saw the escape hatch open, he would take it just because he knew that's how I'm going to be able to break this 49ers defense. They're too good to just try to over execute them. But if I can break them down with my legs and really start making them second guess, then all of a sudden my throws are going to be that much easier because they're so worried about me using my legs. And again, that's just why he's so dynamic. Where he's really grown for me is he knows he always has his legs. Early in his career, it's like he would show it off all the time, which I shouldn't say show it off. He used them a lot because it was working. But now he's at a point where he understands the game at such a high level. He's like, I can time when I want to use my feet and time it so I can really break down defense's mentality on how they want to play me. And the passing, how he's fixed his accuracy, which was never bad. It was more just going through the progressions. He's gotten way faster at that. So now Lamar, in my opinion, he should be the MVP. And I think the Baltimore Ravens currently are the best team in the NFL. I'd still put 49ers second. I don't think Brock Purdy just had a bad showing. And it wasn't just him among the rest of the team, but I think it's probably Ravens. I'm with you there. And then I'm still going to throw the 49ers in there. I'm not going to panic over that loss. And then I honestly like the Bills. I think the Bills are figuring out a lot of their problems right now. They really struggled early on, but we kind of talked about it. It was that run game. They figured out a way to get Cook going. Obviously, the new OC, I think, really helped unlock that. But previously, they got to the red zone, and they had no run game. Everything was just outside zone in shotgun. The play action never worked because, again, you're always running it in shotgun. The linebackers just do a quick read. They see you. It's like, okay, he's obviously sitting back there. It doesn't take much to pick those apart when you're in that formation. And they fixed that. Now they got the run game going. So it's not all reliant on Josh Allen to throw a dart into the end zone, which is pretty much how they're getting all their points before. Why they struggled so bad to get in field goal range, even though they had still one of the best ranked offenses, was because they did so well, on their own end of the field. But when they got tight and they needed that running game, they just didn't have it. So I'm actually high on the Bills for turning around their offense and finally unlocking Cook and getting that going. The Dolphins, I'm with you there. They just have so many weapons. And I think that's probably it for the AFC. I am going to count out the Chiefs. I just don't think they have enough on offense that's clicking right now. Even though it's Mahomes, I think he needs more help. To me, it's as simple as that. This is the first year we've really seen him where he's kind of strapped on talent around him, and he's still able to pretty much lead them in the division at 9-6, but showing a little bit in some of the cracks in their armor. And when you go to the NFC, the Eagles are concerning. I think they're kind of struggling with the same thing the Bills were. Their run game is good, but it never results in explosive plays. It just gets them a few chunk yards at a time. It's kind of the same thing. They're ranked bottom in terms of pistol sets or being under center. Again, Hurts always in shotgun. And I can't stress that enough. It just feels like when you're so in love with that. I mean, you tell me, you've been in the NFL.
I don't understand that, because you had a Miles Sanders, which, he by far, he is a good back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think compared to DeAndre Swift, they're not the same. I think DeAndre is more explosive. I think he's a better downhill back at every down back. And I don't understand why isn't he involved a whole lot more. And even if you can't, run in between tackles or something like that, swing passes, kind of how Kamara was being, used early in his career, with creating matchups to where the opposing defense has to account for him. Their offense has, I won't say one dimensional, but Jalen is looking to make the big play too much instead of, just giving what a defense is giving you and everything like that. And, you could say that right now and everything like that. And then in 2 games, he's back to doing what he's doing. And it's like, all right, well, he is who he is. So, I mean, I'm not really mad at that. I definitely do think they have to, get their run game solved. They got too good of an offensive line to not just be, imposing their will on teams. And I don't know what's going on for them to, stall, but once they get that situation, figured out and everything like that, I still think they're going to be in the NFC Championship. Now, if they win, I think that's a toss-up between, them and the 49ers. But I think that will be the two teams that make it there.
Yeah.
I just don't I don't see anybody else that's, really coming close on all phases of the ball. You might have,
I think it's the Ravens.
The Lions.
That's it for me. I think it's the Ravens right now.
No, I'm just talking about like on the NFC side.
Okay,
like
on the NFC. I got you.
As matching, necessarily what they can do. The AFC is a different monster in itself, as you said it before. You're having to really, break down Lamar. We were used to him being used as a running back. They got a different offensive coordinator in there. They got weapons around him that can actually catch the ball and do stuff with his hands. It wasn't necessarily that he wasn't doing it. It was just he had to win games in a different way. Now he's actually getting back and showing why he was a first-round draft pick, a Heisman winner, and everything like that. So, and that's going to be a problem because at the end of the day, it's like you can still take, those throw lanes away and everything like that, but you're also not going to want to rush him too much to where now he's beating you with his feet and kind of how San Fran got caught just not really wanting to get after him too quick and, showing their hand to where he can just, easily escape. And now with the Lamar that we've seen and we know what he can do and everything like that. So
I want to ask you on what you think the Eagles' problems are and what they have been down the stretch, because again, it's still a good team. I think they're a well-coached team, but there are some definite chinks in the armor. Because then when they had, 2 weeks in a row of elite teams, and then of course they played the Seahawks, they don't win that one either. They get right against the Giants, but I mean, they lost to the 49ers 42-19. Then they'd go to lose to the Cowboys 33-13. Really got blown out by a couple of elite teams. And then the Seahawks, the real surprising one, they make it 3 straight losses in a row, beating them 20-17. And then they get right against the Giants. But I think a lot of people have been pointing at Jalen Hurts. You mentioned something before that I agree with you. I don't know if he's looking for the big plays or if that's what they keep drawing up around him. Like that's the reads, the play calls he's been given. Do you think it's a personnel problem with the players and maybe how they're not playing the same or might have been regression? Or do you think it's coaching in the formations that they're doing? Again, I talked about the run game. I just don't think you're getting creative enough. When you have that good of an offensive line, it seems silly to put the game on Jalen Hurts' shoulders as much as they do. But what do you think is really going on with the Eagles looking almost worse as the season's gone
on? They're just not playing. They're not putting a whole game together. They've been, in a lot of these close wins and have done enough to win it. They've had simple, small mistakes. I think they're not using the full capabilities of their offense.
Mm-hmm.
So their intermediate game, their screen game. They've had some players, some key players. I know Goddard was out for a minute and everything like that. And I know he's coming back and getting more involved in stuff. But they're not – I don't think they're doing, their intermediate game well. I don't think that they're doing their screen games as well. It's either – a big play looking down the field or, very similar of the same routes and very basic instead of, opening things up, moving people around.
You're nailing it right now. I'll send you some charts after the show on their shot, or I should say their pass chart on where the ball ends up, where the targets.
It's all deep shots. So
all sideline. Nothing in the middle, literally nothing in the middle. That intermediate throw you're talking about, they have struggled. They're dead last on those middle of the field throws. And again, to me, it's the play action. You're not faking anybody out, and it's just never quite open because you're not faking anybody with that run game. And when you can't do that, you see those teams that run the pistol or under center a lot, those throws are a lot easier because those play actions are so much more effective. With the Eagles, you're just not getting any of that.
Yeah, so it's you gotta mix it up to where the numbers don't really tell the truth. And it's just not, you're being one-dimensional. Like I said, spreading DeAndre Swift out, getting him involved in the screen games or getting him, involved on the perimeter, running him, in between the tackles. And you got an offensive line, like, impose your will. Like, just go good on good and go. You know what I mean? Like, and they just haven't been doing that. Now, why they're not calling that, why they're not doing it, I'm not sure. I know they've had a little mix up with a few guards, with people getting hurt and changing in and changing out and everything like that, but still. And, you know, teams are just not respecting pretty much like what they're doing. It's like, all right, well, we know y'all going to do that. We're taking this away. Now y'all got to beat us a different way. And there's just, you know, one pulling of the string has led to another thing. All these games that they've lost, other than the 49er game, you know, I just don't think they just showed up on the 49er game. I just think, you know,
it was a short week. That's a fair point.
You know, so it just, and that happens sometimes. So, but also they've won 10, 11 games.
Yeah.
So as much as we can talk about, but they're distant, like, sometimes, you know, you get in a rut, and it's all right. Like, I believe they're going to fix it. I believe they will start to, you know, show exactly, you know, what they are, what they can do, and everything like that. Everybody's frustrated, you know, everybody's mad, but it just takes them to be more consistent. And I think if they be more consistent with just allowing their offense to move and stuff, instead of just trying to look for the big plays and everything like that, getting, you know, A.J. Brown involved in the intermediate game. Or you know, moving him around to getting Smitty, you know, involved in some more of the intermediate stuff and everything like that. Get, you know, Swift out of the backfield. Give him on some of those exit motions or angle routes out of the backfield and everything like that, and let him go. I don't think they're far from it. It's just, you know, every team goes through a period of time to where, you know, it's a long season. It's a physical game. You know, a lot of people are expecting, you know, a lot out of you and everything like that, and it weighs on you a lot sometimes. So I think they just hit, you know, one of those things where they're battling their self to be good. It's not that somebody is just so much more better than you, or they're out executing and everything like that. No, just these other teams has played a more complete game. If you go back to that Seattle game, I think Bradbury was the only corner that everything was complete on.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just like, I mean, you win and you lose stuff and everything like that. And, you know, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
I think
we got to throw it the break here, DeMornay. So real quick here.
It's all good. They're 2 plays away from winning that game. So I don't think it's anybody else. I think it's just them.
Yeah, I'm with you too. And again, you know, we talked about you're an 11-win team. You get nitpicked when people are talking about as a possible Super Bowl favorite, though. But nonetheless, we got to throw it the break here. We got one more segment on the Don't Punt Hour. We've been talking a lot of NFL. Maybe on this final segment here, we'll go ahead and I'll ask you about the Detroit Pistons. The tankathon is on in a ridiculous way. I don't know who they're tanking for. Could be Caitlin Clark, but it's looking bad. They got 27 losses right now. Looks like they're down by 3. We'll dive into it and see if you think they're going to break that all-time losing streak record for the NBA or not. Don't Punt Hour. We got DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. I'm Harrison. Don't go anywhere.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2024 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Don't be surprised if your kids seem bored when they have some time off from school. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. While kids may not miss the confinement of the classroom, they may miss the routine of the school day. Help them add some structure to those free days by planning special projects. Rearrange a bedroom, plan a family meal, increase that batting average, and keep it fun.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back here on the Don't Punt Hour again with Demorne Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. But Demorne, we're talking some NBA here. The record for the longest losing streak in the NBA is held by the Jazz at 28 games lost straight. It was actually split into 2 seasons. They lost towards the end of the season, didn't make the playoffs, obviously. And then to start the next year's season, they continued to lose games to get to that whopping 28. Right now, the Pistons are at a solid 26-game losing streak. They're playing the Nets right now. They're down by 6. This would put them to 27. 28 would be if they lose to the Celtics, which seems like a pretty much surefire.
Sure.
And then 29 to break the record. You might feel better about it if you're a Pistons fan. They got the Toronto Raptors, a team that's struggling this year. The problem is, last time you played them, you lost by 32. It's not looking good for them. Do the Detroit Pistons get a win before the new year, and can they stop this record for being theirs for who knows how long? This seems like it's going to be a tough record to break if they somehow get to 29 straight losses.
I hope they break it. I think that would be good. I mean, nobody wants to be a part of history in a negative way.
Oh, that's the worst type of history to be a part of.
It's not like you. Oh yeah, well, what's the worst it can be? Yeah, let's go for that one. And I actually like their coach. I think
Monty
he was
Williams.
a good coach and everything like that. He inherited,
a bad roster,
a troubled team. So, and I'm not saying it's all on him and everything like that. Give him some time, to make some changes and, bring some people in there or whatnot. But I hope they can break it before the new year. If not, that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad when you were doing so bad that no one is buying tickets, and now the only reason why you're getting more numbers is people can't believe what they're seeing. They're like, oh my God, we couldn't break the record. I might have to go tickets and see if this happens. You got the crowd, even the small crowds that are there, saying sell the team. It's a bad time for the Detroit Pistons right now. And again, this to me is their opportunity. You have to beat the Brooklyn Nets. The Raptors, maybe you get another shot there, but they just beat you so badly last time. It looked like they didn't even really compete. And the Celtics, I got no shot in those guys finding a way to beat the Celtics. But I'm going to go ahead and put the jury out. I think they break the record. I'd hate for them to hold that record because I actually like Monty Williams. I like a lot of those players. I'm still kind of waiting on some of them, like Cade Cunningham, to see what they can do. But it's not looking great. I'm saying they don't win another game. Demorne, I know you don't want him, but what do you think is going to happen?
I think they're going to do it. I believe.
You think they'll get a win before the season?
I think so.
Or before the new year, capable. I should say. All right. Well,
yeah, I think it's capable. Other than the Celtics, one of the either this game or
Raptors.
Or the game after the Celtics.
Yeah. It's not the Celtics. Well, who knows? Maybe that'd be a great way to kind of break the curse. But nonetheless, this is going to wrap up the Don't Punt Hour. Detroit Pistons, they're down by 4 right now. Not looking great for them. But this is also going to wrap up Ticket Weeknights here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Shout out to Demorne Pierson-El. Happy birthday to him and a Merry Christmas. And appreciate all you guys for listening. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Working at Continental in Lincoln